Yeah,
Yep,
no
all
worries.
good.
And
You can
yeah,
see the screen. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Great. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining for the session of Azure Power Lunch. As you know that we record these call and place our recordings on our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, you may want to drop off now. Um, and with that, our topic of discussion today is Azure Integration Environment. And this is a service that is in currently in preview, and it's along with business process tracking, which is also in preview. It's a part of provide the unified integration experience. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick overview of this, and then we are going to be doing a demo and things like that. So first of all, why you need Azure Integration Environment? And integrations are inherently complex. You have a number of components involved, and Azure Integration Environment provide you a way to logically group the the components that are involved in your integration. That can be, of course, your logic apps. That can be your service bus. That can be your API management. So you can logically group them in one place. And you can create your integration environment based on your business hierarchy or business organization, like you have accounting, HR, operations, things like that. Or you can create them based how your infrastructure is set up, like test, production, development, that way, in whatever you feel comfortable with. And integration environment have a concept of application. And what application does, they represent a particular, sorry, let me just move to the next slide. They represent a particular kind of a business process, like onboarding a new hire, something like that, customer or service ticket processing, things like that. So they represent that. And then comes the business tracking, because it's not enough to have this logical grouping. The business stakeholders, they also need to know about um, certain key information when this kind of integration is going on, or when that integrated process is happening. For example, for a new hire, they may want to know which department is going to, how much time it took, all of that, and other information that is necessary, like where they're located in the service ticket process. They may want to know who, what is the ticket number, processed the work order, and who was the technician information, all of that. So that part, that is, so kind of, this is what, when we talk about integration environment, this is what it provides for the unified integration experience, bringing the business side and the technology side kind of together. And that's what we will hopefully look at the demo and the rest of the session to clarify it. Just keep in mind, this is currently in public preview. So I just want to make sure. So first of all, sorry, these are some of the steps that you have to take to track a business process. First of all, you create a business process. Given that you have created an integration environment, you create a business process which is nothing but a logical representation of your actual business process. Okay, all the steps there. Second part is that you map this business process to your Logic Apps workflow. So you have Logic Apps workflow, and then you start mapping each workflow. For example, there is a workflow for creating a service ticket. So you map it to that, things like that. And then finally, you deploy that workflow and start capturing key business data for your business stakeholders so they can take a look at it and see if there are any deficiency, or if there are any issues that they need to address, or then how they can enhance overall business process or improve it. Got it? Any questions? Okay. So here is kind of a business process, like a sample business process look like, and that's what we're going to see in a demo. This is create ticket, dispatch ticket, do work, and complete work. So this is kind of a business process that for us processing a service ticket. Second part is how you map it. So you have this process that has created, but you have workflows on the technology, which represent the technology side of things. Okay, and then you are mapping each workflow, and we will see that in the actual demo. I just want to make sure uh, people have a mental diagram before we jump into the demo, because integration is a pretty complex topic. And then you have the how you deploy this business process and tracking. So once you deploy it, then you're going to start capturing that information, and it tells you how much time it took to complete, and what was every state successful. If there's a failure, then you can go back in and see what happened, things like that. All of that is there. Got it? Any question before we jump into the demo? So let's go in. So first of all, let's look at how we can create a integration environment. So let's see here. Um, I am going to go in here, and I am going to open and this thing in here. So these are, I already have an integration environment. I just want to show you how you can create it. Just keep in mind, there is a link in the documentation. You have to enable the service provider or resource provider for integration environments. You go into your um, subscription, and there is a provider for integration that you enable, a resource provider, and after that you should be able to create that. Otherwise, it will give an error. So I go in, and basically very boilerplate stuff. You provide a resource group, name, description, region, and you can create it. Okay, very simple. I'm not going to create it because I already have one. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to go in into a integration environment that we already have. So let me go from here so we have more real estate. As you can see, pretty standard stuff, overviews, tags, and then you have application and resources. So what, as I said, application represent a business process. So I have a service ticket process. I can create one as well. And the way you create an application, you give it a name. So we can call it APL demo 01, and then we can add resources to it. The only thing is that you're not creating resources. Resources that you have in your subscription, you can add. Right now, you can add three type of resources. So I'm just going to add, let's say, this logic app. I'm going to add it here. And then for business process tracking, this is important. You will need a uh, basically data Azure Data Explorer instance. So that's how what it does is that's how it keeps all the tracking information. So I already have one. If you don't have one, you can create one. So I can do this here, and then tags, and then review and create. Once again, I already have created one, so I'm not going to create another one. So I just wanted to show you the experience. So that's that. Okay. So once you have created the application, then what you can do is you can go into the application and you can create your business processes. And that's the meat of the thing. When you open an application, it shows you the resources. So this is the application that I have created. It has two resources, service bus with three queues, and this logic app, which has four workflows. Okay, so that's there. Um, at this moment, I mean, you have all that information that is there. So let's go in and let's look at the business processes, how you will create a business process. So we are going to create just a demo process, and we are going to call it yeah, demo of 01. And Let's use the same for description. And business identifier is session ID. I mean, you can have it anything. We just name it. Just keep in mind, use a name that is identified um, with your business, and that has to be unique. So, for example, if you have your business processes, uh, a new hire, then probably employee ID, which is created as the person is hired. If it is like a service ticket processing, then it's a ticket ID because ticket ID is unique, things like that. Okay. So let's create this business process. Once you create that business process, you can go in and you can actually design the stages. Okay. So let's say the first stage, and you can give it a name and you can give it a data source. And where does the data source come from? So first of all, let's give it a name. We call it stage 01, and data source. I'm going to use this logic app, and I'm going to use submit ticket, and I'm going to use an action. And that's the interesting part. What it's going to do is it's going to pick up and it's going to pick something, the logic app, and it will allow you to pick the properties that are there. Okay. So you have this, and for the business ID, you can pick up anything from here. I'm going to use the JSON ID, ticket ID. So this is the ticket ID that I'm using. Okay. I mean, I know there's some concept like there are something new to learn, but this is how it's working basically. Just sort of think of it, your to wrap around your kind of get a understanding of it. Think of it. This process, technical process is running. You are mapping this technical process to a business facade to get the tracking information to find out what's going on with your system. Okay. I want to stop for a second. Any questions so far? Okay. So with that, once you do it, then it will set up, it will, create that. So, and then you can go in and add that stage. So this is added. The session ID is the um, ticket ID, and you can add additional properties as well. Same process, you call the property, let's say, test ID or something, whatever property that you want to give in. And once you do an add, the stage is added, you can go in here and you can go to show data sources one more time, select that, and at this point in your logical in what you're connecting is this logical stage to this workflow. And I can go in here as well, and I can capture one of the IDs from here. For example, I want to get customer name, things like that, and continue. Okay. So that's how you build it. So that's how it's going to be working. Let me show you an actual working flow so you can see how this is working in actual. So as you can see here, this is the process service ticket. It processes, it's a kind of a business process to uh, kind of complete a service ticket. First thing is somebody called in and you create a ticket. That's the first stage. Second, I apologize for the spelling mistake, dispatch tech. You got the ticket, you dispatch the technician. Third one is permission to do work. They're doing work. And then finally, complete work and they send this back. So this is that. So let's see how all of these are mapped. So I'm going to go to the first stage. This is the first stage. As you can see, they have two properties, customer name, customer phone. These are important because if somebody has opened a ticket, you want to capture their name and phone number, probably email as well. And let's see with the data source, submit ticket. Just say this submit ticket workflow is tied to it, and I want to show it to you, this workflow here. So this is a read-only representation of the workflow. And if we can go in here, you see basically HTTPS request is received. And what it is doing behind the scene is some data is posted and it is processing this data, then it's building the workflow. There's some fictitious stuff. It sends out an email um, and basically to the customer that, hey, we are processing your ticket. So, this is your ticket number. So they can call back if something happens. And then they send a message to a queue. So basically, that's what's happening in this particular part. Okay. Then we go to the second stage. Second stage, as you can see, this is another workflow that's tied to it, WF Tech Dispatched. And if we open it here, this is how this workflow look like. Once again, what we are doing is we are using, service bus. So a message is posted in a service bus. Remember, the three service bus queues are showed. That's one of those queues is used. It read the message, parse the message, then it sends an approval email. So approval email will come in and somebody will approve the technician. This is just a fictitious step that we added. And then finally it will send a message to another queue to do the next part of the processing. Continue on. We go to the third stage. Same thing. Tied to, and by the way, remember, two stages can be tied to a single workflow. It's a possibility. But normally there will be separate workflow for each stage. Okay. So let's click on it. And uh, this is the, come on. Yes, for some reason I'm not able to move it, but let's try it again. Okay, never mind. So this is the other workflow. And as you can see here, and I can show this workflow on this. Okay. Anyways, so this is the workflow. Basically, it's doing the same thing. Message is receiving the message, parsing the message, and then sending the asking for approval, where it's gonna wait, and then finally sending the email when everything is done. Okay, same thing, same processes repeating for each step. But just keep in mind, if it's a real work scenario, you may be sending an email to a technician with a work order, and they're creating the work order. And by the way, just check. I am capturing work order ID here as a property of this stage. Okay. Of course, business ID is the same. That's a unique thing that is captured throughout the workflow. I mean, that's important thing. This is the same ticket number, so that's kind of propagating all the way through. Okay. And finally, we go into this, and in that one, let's select the action. Okay. So this is, yes. So when a message is available in the queue, it is just sending an email to the customer saying, hey, your job is done, your service ticket is now complete. Okay. So that's that. And now, um, let's run this and see how it is actually working behind the scene. In the meantime, I want to show it to you. This is the Azure Data Explorer that I have created to use it with this one, and we will take a look at it in a second. So let's first submit that workflow. So this is the simple client, and this is my logic app that I'm calling, and I'm sending this data with my email. And once I send it, it so this is there is no body, so the message is sent, and let's see. Okay, so let me open an email and show it to you. So this is the email that I got. It says, "Hi Naveed, we are processing your service request." Okay, so that's that. And now let me take you to the email on the company side of it. So this is the company email. And what they have is it's saying, please assign a technician. We have this technician ID. Please approve it to this. So I'm just going to do approve. And with that, the workflow will start moving. So now I get another email saying that we have this work order. Can we complete this work order because we have done the work? So, yes, I will click on it. The work order is complete. At this point, um, this task is done. Work order complete. Any questions? So that's so now this since that task is done, I should be getting another email telling me that this work order is complete. So think of it. This is the side of the customer. So your ticket is now complete. This is my uh, ticket number, and it's telling me this ticket is complete. Okay, so that's the customer side of it. How about the business process tracking, where we can track that information? So let's go back to our integration business process. Let's go in there and look at this kind of a icon here. So let's click on it, and it will show us all of the business processes that have ran. Default range is 24 hours. You can increase it or decrease it if you want, but I'm okay with it. This is, um, as you know, I was testing, so I ran it earlier, but this is the one that just ran. Okay, so if you are a business executive, you can go in and you can look at these processes and see, okay, this is the business process, what was happening at each stage, what information that I have gathered. So, sorry, let me go back. So, oh, this was ticket about this person. There's their phone number, and then who was the technician, which was dispatched. This was the technician ID, and I mean, in real scenario, it may be technician's name, their phone number as well. And then this was the work order that was processed, and there may be more information like how much time it took the work order, what material was used, how expensive was that repair that we had to do. And then in complete, this is the customer email. So email was sent to this customer. So basically, I can see end to end, um, all the information that is going through this business process. Got it? So that's the goal of this entire unified integration experience, because you have the integration environment to bring together all of the components that you're using, and then you have business process tracking, which is able to track the process to different steps, and provide like the business matrix that the stakeholders may be interested in. Okay. And by the way, why this is used, uh, like what is the role of Data Explorer? That's where all of that information is stored. So the information that you see here on the portal is coming from Data Explorer. And you can use separate tables and things like that to store that information. That's totally on you. But right now, I'm just using one table, but each process, as you can see, this is the process. Each business process can have its own table where it stores its data. Okay, so that's that. One thing I want to mention here is, so basically, as you can see here, all of that information and that we are, I mean, the all of the technical information is here in the resource group. But with the help of this integration environment, we are able to see all the resources that are taking part in the integration in one place. Because to be honest, right now for this demo, I have all the resources in one place in one resource group. But they may not be. They may be under different resource group, but with this integration environment, you can see all of them in one place. You know that these are my resources which are taking part in the in different integrations. Okay, so that's this gives you like a holistic view of what is being used as your as a part of integration. And if we go into that, sorry to switching screen again. If we go into that logic app, you can see the four workflows that are uh, running in this logic app. So these are the four workflows that I wanted to show you. Okay, all of these are here, and once they are there, And basically, integration environment is bringing everything together to provide one place to see all of your integration resources. So we have 3 more minutes. Any question? I know. I mean, there is, since this is kind of a addressing a very complex topic, which is integration. Integration is really complex, and and to be honest, it's trying to bridge the gap which we have with BizTalk, because BizTalk used to be our integration server, and with logic apps and with integration environments and with business process tracking, we are bringing some of the capabilities that were there in BizTalk, and now they are available as a part of this entire integration experience that is provided by integration environment, business process tracking, and logic app. So that's what is trying to do. And I have in the resources, I have one of the blog from the PM. I will highly recommend take a look at that blog because they are explaining some of these concepts in more detail to get an idea of like how how you can take advantage of it for your own organization, for your own customers, and things like that. So I know we have 1 more minute. Any questions, folks? Okay. So if there are no questions, I will give everybody their 1 minute back and thank you for joining and hope to see everybody for another session of Azure Power Lunch next week. And thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.